F-16 flyover paying tribute to former and current members of the military on this Veterans Day. The fighter jet soaring over at 11:11 a.m. on 11/11, the precise moment the armistice was signed ending the First World War, in which 20 million lives were taken 102 years ago today. Hospitalizations reach record highs as the COVID crisis spirals in many communities across the country. Oklahoma City has run out of ICU space, using closets to make room for patients. Cities struggle to reinstitute restrictions. We'll talk to an El Paso judge whose order is being challenged by the Texas Attorney General, plus the latest guidance from the CDC for mask wearing. Vaccine Watch. After Pfizer's blockbuster news this week, we'll take a closer look at how a successful vaccine rollout would work, who gets it first, and what that means for you and your family. President Trump makes his first public appearance in 5 days, attending a wreath laying for Veterans Day, but not making any public comments about the election or coronavirus. President-elect Biden laying a wreath at the Korean War Memorial in Philadelphia. Meanwhile, the Trump administration's standoff continues, raising possible security concerns over the president's reluctance to face reality. Tropical storm Eta taking another swing at the Florida coast, the erratic storm hours from making landfall for a fourth time. And a mother's fight leads to the pardon of her son with autism after his serious car accident that left a man disabled put him behind bars for a decade. The movement to help Matthew Rushin. Good evening, everyone. I'm Lindsay Davis. Thank you so much for streaming with us on this Veterans Day. Let us begin with our gratitude. We so appreciate the sacrifices of the many men and women who protect our freedoms each and every day, and we will never forget. While there are so many divisions in our country, that is certainly something that we can all get behind. But right now, we're fighting an invisible enemy that has claimed more American lives than the First World War, the Korean War, Vietnam, Iraq, and Afghanistan conflicts all combined. The coronavirus pandemic continues to surge, cases rising in all 50 states. As the CDC is now changing its guidance on masks, the agency now says it protects people wearing it, not just from spreading it. But in some regions, the crisis is reaching a breaking point. Texas has topped 1 million cases. El Paso is now extending its lockdown, with hospitals struggling to keep pace. Meanwhile, in Washington, the current president still refusing to concede, and so far has refused to begin the process of a peaceful transition of power. Lots to get to tonight, but we begin with Matt Gutman in El Paso.
Tonight, New York, the original epicenter of the coronavirus, taking swift action in the face of a troubling sign. The positivity rate climbing to 2.9%, the highest since June. Starting Friday, a new curfew. Bars, restaurants, and gyms will close at 10 p.m. Gatherings in private homes will be limited to 10 people.
If these numbers keep going crazy, you have some scientists who believe we're going to go back to a close down. I'm just praying that doesn't happen.
Tonight, Texas is the first state to surpass 1 million cases, and the nation's new epicenter, El Paso, parts of which now look like a military field hospital. Air Force Lieutenant Colonel and Dr. Brock Miller has been deployed to Afghanistan, his medical unit now on the ground in El Paso, where COVID is exploding.
Even compared to any experience I've had in my training or since deployment, it's also the busiest I've ever seen a hospital.
One of that very hospital's COVID patients is Taylor Soderberg.
Can you describe that feeling of, what it's like to try to walk and get into the emergency room when you can't breathe?
It's like you're going to drown. You're just grasping for that breath. Sorry.
Tonight, every state in the nation seeing hospitalizations, ICU admissions, and ventilator use on the rise. In Oklahoma, hospitals are overwhelmed.
Our worst nightmare right now is having to choose between a patient in a car accident and a patient with COVID.
But the governor resisting a mask mandate. And in South Dakota, where the positivity rate is nearly 7 times the national average, the city of Sioux Falls voting down a mask mandate.
So my official vote on this is a no, and that item fails 5-4.
That came just hours after the CDC updated its guidance, saying wearing a mask protects you, not just the people around you. Adding, adopting universal masking policies can help avert future lockdowns. In North Dakota, staff shortages are so severe, healthcare workers with asymptomatic COVID will keep working with COVID patients. And every day, frontline workers are watching their patients slip away.
So it's just hard to see somebody passing in front of your eyes. You're gowned up and you can't see your face and you can't feel the touch of skin to skin. It's just extremely sad.
In Utah, 24-year-old Jessie Jensen is on a ventilator, struggling to survive days after giving birth to a little girl.
After she comes home, I'm really looking forward to her being able to hold her daughter again.
And tonight, on the heels of Pfizer's progress on its vaccine, word today Moderna will be announcing its results soon.
We likely will see results from them probably sometime, I would think, in the next 2 weeks or 2.5 to 3 weeks, which means you'll have two companies that will have vaccine available.
Boy, those personal stories really hit home. Matt Gutman joins us now. And Matt, you've been there in El Paso reporting on just how the virus has overwhelmed the city there. But tonight there's a new forecast which suggests that additional regions are likely to see the biggest surge in cases.
Lindsay, basically they're following roughly the trends that we've seen here in Texas, the Midwest, the Rockies. Accelerated growth of the virus, increased hospitalizations, and a certain period after that, roughly 3 to 6 weeks, an increasing number of deaths. And we're going to see that, according to Policy Lab, in the Northeast through the Mid-Atlantic and the West Coast, California, and large cities like Portland and Seattle. In addition to that, one of the things that Policy Lab is recommending, and remember, it's part of the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, is that children revert back to remote learning and that people start to quarantine even before the holiday season, Lindsay.
Yeah, the situation only growing more dire by the day. Matt Gutman, our thanks to you.
Yeah.
In El Paso, Texas, where we just spoke with Matt, half of all hospital patients have COVID-19, and there are now 6 mobile morgues, with the city preparing to get another 4 to keep up. El Paso tonight remains under a stay-at-home order with all non-essential businesses shuttered, and that's because of an order by El Paso County Judge Ricardo Samaniego. That order now being challenged by the Texas Attorney General along with local businesses. And Judge Ricardo Samaniego joins us tonight. Our thoughts are certainly with your community during this heartbreaking time. Thanks so much for joining us, Judge.
Oh, and thank you for the opportunity to talk a little bit about what's happening in our community.
Certainly those images that we've been seeing of hospitals and mobile morgues are just searing. How is the community holding up?
Well, it's a difficult, we're a community that came out of a first anniversary of the Walmart tragedy and, killing of 23 beautiful souls and 46 that were injured. We were right in the middle of our bereavement process when we started this pandemic. So at that point, we were asking, let's everybody go out, let's get united, let's do the best we can, let's work as a community. We had master calendars, and then the next thing you know, we're asking everyone to go back home and stay at home. So it's a sort of a compound effect that we've had here in our community. And before that, we had 150,000 refugees come through our community, where we dignified them and sent them into different parts of the U.S. And so it's a community that's very gregarious and that is very, it's just a beautiful community that's dealing with a really horrid situation. Walking by those 4 trailers, yes, those mobile mortuaries is something, if born and raised here in El Paso, it's something that's really difficult to understand, how we're at this particular situation. So the community, doing the best we can, but I think the COVID is winning this battle at this point in time.
And you just announced that you're extending your stay-at-home order until December 1st, and that also means that it stays in place over the Thanksgiving holiday. How difficult of a decision was that for you to make?
Well, it's a difficult decision, but we understand getting a lot of support from the health communities. My 3 premises were, one, that we would, have a legal support and legal foundation that we have. As you see, we've gone through the Judge Moody's district judge ruled in our favor, went to the 8th Court of Appeals. We had the Supreme Court now saying that they're going to allow them to issue the order on Friday. Those are very positive signs that we have a very strong legal ground. And the third, obviously, is the collective consciousness of our of our community to be able to help us deal with this virus at this time.
I just heard you say, you believe that you're on very strong legal ground, and I just wanted to kind of have a deeper dive there a little bit, because the Texas Attorney General calls your order invalid because it conflicts with the governor's orders to reopen Texas businesses, and he says that your rules confuse and overly restrict El Paso residents. The Texas Supreme Court today left your order in place pending an appeals court ruling. Why do you believe so strongly that you have the winning case?
Well, when you present it to the district court, Judge Moody, and he rules in our favor, and now there's the Eighth Court is trying to rule, and the Supreme Court intervenes and asks. The Attorney General intervenes and asks them to make a decision and not wait until Friday. Those all are signs that we do have strong legal grounds. I mean, we did find, within our statutes and what I can and cannot do, especially in an emergency situation. And the other thing that makes us strong is that there's no precedents. There's very few precedents. We had to go back to the Spanish, plague at that time that we found that we were allowed, or local officials were able to intervene. And so having been this a first-time situation where we're requesting this, we feel we're in very strong legal ground. And like I said, we're very fortunate that we went through, that we're here at this point. They seem like moral victories, and they are, but I think there's also very strong legal grounds. Otherwise, we wouldn't be at this point of the Supreme Court allowing the appeals court to rule on Friday.
Are you surprised you're getting so much pushback?
Yes, I guess, and especially because El Paso, we're very isolated, and it's always been very difficult to get the support, whether it's transportation, whether it's with refugees. We're probably one of the most unfunded mandates that we get of any county. So we also had, very glad that we had Lina Hidalgo, Judge Lina Hidalgo from Harris County, offering help through her, requesting that the Eighth Court of Appeals look at our situation, and that's a big county. That's the largest here in Texas. So we feel pretty good about what's going on. But like I said, it's a moral victory because we are actually, every day that we're allowed to continue to stay at home, I feel very confident that it's more lives that are saved, less saturation in our hospitals. Our morgues, we've got, when you have 10 possible morgues within about 3 or 4 days, we'll have 10 morgues, mobile morgues in our community. I don't know what else would tell the story. I don't know what else and what drastic measures or what other measures would anybody use when you've got your hospital saturated and the morgues in the condition that they are, and the funeral homes starting to do makeshift, opportunities to store the bodies. I mean, my goodness. I mean, that in itself should say that we're on the right track.
And of course, across the country, there's been a debate about how far to go to protect lives over livelihoods. How do you think about that balance? And when do you think it could be safe to lift these lockdowns?
Well, I've always said when we were focusing on public health, and we were strong in public health, and we looked at minimizing the impact on the economy, I believe strongly that was what helped us gain our footage and then try to open the economy. When we decided that the economy, really focus on the economy and see if we could minimize the impact on public health, that's when we realized and started having that turnaround. Now, one of the things that's very clear to me is that Governor Abbott, when San Antonio, Austin, and Dallas and Fort Worth were having huge peaks, he thought it was okay and go in his toolbox and use a stay-at-home order to address the COVID. And so now we're having worse peaks, and we cooperated when they were having those, and we're at a stay-at-home order from the governor. We didn't have those numbers, and we cooperated. But now we have, huge increase, much more than what happened. The acuteness is greater than what happened in that part of Texas, and yet we're not able to use a stay-at-home order. It's something that was very useful, that he felt would help. And now that's all I'm doing. There's nothing in the order, in the stay-at-home order, that is not something that Governor Abbott has used prior, other than the curfew. That's the only significant difference between anything that he's issued and my order at this point in time.
Judge Samaniego, we especially appreciate your time during this time of the tumultuous upheaval with the coronavirus ravaging your community. Thank you very much.
No, thank you, and the best to all our veterans out there. Really thank them for everything that they've done. Incredible service, and now helping our communities as well. Happy Veterans Day. Thank you.
And next to the White House, where President Trump still has not conceded the election, today he made his first public appearance in nearly a week, honoring veterans at Arlington Cemetery. But we have not heard from the president in days, except on Twitter. And as the election standoff continues, questions are mounting on how it will impact the transition to President-elect Joe Biden, who's now working to set up his administration. We're now learning tonight his first personnel pick, former Ebola czar during the Obama administration, Ron Klain, as his chief of staff. ABC's chief White House correspondent Jonathan Karl has the latest.
Today, a new campaign 2020 milestone. Joe Biden now leads Donald Trump by more than 5 million votes nationally, the largest popular vote victory since 2008. The president-elect and his wife Jill traveled to Philadelphia today to pay tribute to America's veterans. And the current president visited Arlington National Cemetery, but he has not spoken in public for nearly a week, the longest stretch of silence for Donald Trump since he became president. His only communication coming in the form of tweets, many making unfounded claims of election fraud. The New York Times called election officials in all 50 states. The resulting banner headline, "Election officials nationwide find no fraud." Still, only 4 Republican senators have publicly acknowledged Joe Biden as the president-elect.
How do you expect to work with Republicans if they won't even acknowledge you as president-elect?
They will. They will.
But the president's refusal to concede has frozen the transition process. Today, 2 former chiefs of staff for George W. Bush and Bill Clinton wrote in the Washington Post, quote, "Our adversaries seek to take advantage of the United States during transitions. Given the realities of the pandemic, delaying the launch of the transition could have real costs." But the outgoing Secretary of State, in an apparent effort to please his boss, is echoing President Trump.
There will be a smooth transition to a second Trump administration.
It's clear the rest of the world is moving on from the Trump presidency. Secretary Pompeo heads out on a trip this Friday to 7 countries. The leaders of all 7 of them have already congratulated Biden. And in Britain, Prime Minister Boris Johnson, one of President Trump's closest allies on the world stage, today referred to him as, quote, "the previous president."
I had and have a good relationship with the previous president. I do not resile from that. But I'm delighted to find the many areas in which the incoming Biden-Harris administration is able to make common cause with us.
President Trump still very much, of course, the current president, not the previous. Jonathan Karl joins us now. John, it's so rare to not hear directly from President Trump himself. His team has filed one lawsuit after another trying to challenge the election results. But judges are quickly dismissing most of them. So what's the end game here?
Well, to be blunt, there is nothing that's going to overturn this election. Donald Trump would need to find a way to get tens of thousands of votes either changed to him or disqualified, and we need to change the results in 3 states at the very least to be the winner of this election. No indication that's going to happen whatsoever. But, Lindsay, I am told that the president is dug in. In fact, they had a meeting tonight at the White House with the political team and determined to pursue all options. I have been told we should be prepared for him to pursue this right up until the deadline of December 14th. That's when the states must send their electors to the Electoral College.
Jonathan Karl, thanks so much as always.
Thank you.
Turning now to the aftermath of the election in the key battleground of Michigan, where Joe Biden won the state by roughly 145,000 votes. In comparison, Donald Trump won Michigan in 2016 by about 11,000 votes. So let's bring in Michigan's Attorney General Dana Nessel. Thanks so much for your time. Now, you supervise the state's 83 county prosecutors. Your team monitored the more than 5 million votes cast in Michigan for irregularities and fraud. Just to make it crystal clear to our viewers, out of all of those votes, have you received any credible complaints of fraud, either small or widespread, that the president's team has claimed?
Well, when you say any credible claims, we certainly have seen a handful of claims where people tried to vote where they were not eligible to vote, or where people tried to submit applications for absentee voting, but none that were successful and none that actually changed the vote total. So were there a smattering of those claims? Yes, as there are every year, but nothing that would have actually impacted the total vote.
And the campaign is alleging, based on affidavits signed by poll observers, that there was enough wrongdoing in counting votes in Detroit to have a judge prevent the results in Wayne County from being certified. Do these claims have any merit? And why do you believe the president's legal team has zeroed in on Detroit?
Well, firstly, we find these claims to be meritless. They are completely lacking in facts. Where they do supply facts, they're easily debunked. And furthermore, even if all of the claims that were made were true, it would still not change the fact that Joe Biden received nearly 150,000 more votes than Donald Trump in the state of Michigan. So it should not be a factor in this race at all whatsoever. In terms of what the strategy is and why the president's team has elected to go this route, I can't say for sure. I don't know if they're trying to delegitimize Joe Biden once he takes office to make it easier to stop him from promoting his programs, or if they're trying to just stop us from certifying the vote here in Michigan. But either way, I can tell you that at the Department of Attorney General, we are determined to ensure that the will of the people is accurately reflected in who our state electors go towards. And it's really disturbing to us that there is this massive effort by the Trump campaign to undermine democracy in our state. But, so far we're winning every single one of these cases. These cases have been dismissed summarily and found to be completely lacking in validity. And we believe that the election will be properly certified here.
So what's the timeline, would you say, for addressing these claims by the Trump campaign? And do you believe that the vote in Michigan will be certified on time?
I do believe that the vote will be certified on time. I think that these efforts will fail as they have so far. No judge has really entertained these, even in the least. And I think that we're going to move forward and the vote will be certified. The will of the people will be properly reflected. And hopefully there'll be a smooth transition from here on out to the Biden presidency. And I will tell you, things are worse here than ever when it comes to COVID infections, and the numbers of deaths are spiking. Hospitalizations from COVID are spiking. We really need to move on from the election and just move towards solutions to this horrible epidemic that's impacting us so greatly here in Michigan and across the nation.
And really a wide open question for you here. There's been so much misinformation out there. I'd like to give you a moment to clear up any of the common misconceptions that are being shared on social media, specifically about the vote in Michigan.
Well, there's so many of them, and that's the problem, because, again, it really undermines people's faith and confidence in the election system, and they really shouldn't have any questions about it because we have multiple layers of protection here in Michigan. So, you start off at, the city or township level, then it goes to the county level, then it goes to the state, and in each area, there are ways to detect in the event that the vote count is not accurate, or if there's been any fraud of any sort, which is very unusual and you see very little of. But whether you're talking about the, false narratives that dead people have voted, or that votes have been changed from one candidate to another, or anything like that, every single one of these narratives has been quickly debunked. And that's what we're doing. Whenever we see anything like that, we go out, we investigate, and we've done that in a number of different scenarios already. And each time we find out that the claim was either false or was, intentionally made fraudulently. And that's what I think is so disturbing to us here in Michigan, and I see this in other states as well. I don't understand why you have either members of the Trump campaign or the Republican parties that are actually asking and sometimes even putting out finder's fees in the event that people are able to somehow manufacture fraud. Election fraud is a very serious crime, and we take that incredibly seriously here in the state of Michigan, and I've prosecuted it myself on a number of occasions. So have the county prosecutors. If you see evidence of a crime, you should report it to law enforcement, and law enforcement responds to it. And so that's what's so concerning. If this was some other type of a crime, if this was a rape or a robbery or a murder, you wouldn't report it to a political party, would you? You would report it to law enforcement, and that's how these claims need to be investigated.
Michigan Attorney General Dana Nessel, thanks so much for your time.
Thanks for having me.
And now to Georgia, where the race is close enough that the state's planned vote audit will trigger a full by-hand recount of each county. Now, what does that mean, and how long might it take? Our Steve Osunsami reports in from Atlanta.
Georgia's Republican Secretary of State tonight still says that the election here was fair, but he's been feeling the blowtorch from others in his own party and is now agreeing to give Trump supporters an audit of the vote for president that currently has Joe Biden leading by more than 14,000 votes. The votes will be counted by hand, and the election must be certified in 9 days.
It'll take every bit of the time that we have left.
The president's people have been claiming without evidence that there was significant voter fraud. Sitting Senators David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler are leading those charges, and today Atlanta's major newspaper took the rare step of dressing both of them down on the front page, calling this dangerous behavior. Both are fighting for their seats in a runoff election in January and rallied the troops today.
We are going to save the country.
Historically, recounts rarely change things. Of nearly 5,000 statewide elections in this country, 27 of them needed recounts, but only 3 of those changed the results, and the average change was just 282 votes. And again, Joe Biden is currently leading by more than 14,000 in Georgia. Even if the president was able to win here in Georgia, it wouldn't be enough to get him reelected. He would also have to win in Pennsylvania. That would be a must-do, where he's currently more than 50,000 votes behind. And on top of this, he'd need to win in at least one other state where he's currently behind. Lindsay?
Our thanks to Steve Osunsami for that. And we've been talking about Eta for about a week now. Remember these scenes of utter devastation after that storm made landfall as a Category 4 in Nicaragua and lashed Honduras before setting its sights on Florida, which it did over the weekend. And now it's heading there again. The storm, which keeps bouncing between a hurricane and tropical storm, forced the Sunshine Skyway Bridge to shut down because of heavy winds. Tampa's airport suspended operations as that storm heads onshore yet again. Rob Marciano, what's the latest with Eta now?
Well, the Sunshine State, at least this part of it, has been anything but that all day long. Western Florida has been getting slammed with heavy rain, wind, and obviously some surging waves here. And Tampa Bay, susceptible to surge, no doubt about it, even from a strong tropical storm, which is what we're seeing tonight. The center of which is about 60 miles, 70 miles to the west of us, and it will make landfall to the north of us overnight tonight into early tomorrow morning as likely a strong tropical storm. And we have tropical storm warnings off a good chunk of Central Florida because of it for the second time, as you pointed out. Goes over to Jacksonville tomorrow afternoon, weakens quickly, and then out to sea. But a lot of that tropical moisture is going to get scooped up into an approaching front that will push through the Carolinas. So heavy rain from Eta getting into almost the mid-Atlantic tomorrow afternoon, and then again clearing out to sea tomorrow. But we got 2 other storms out there. Theta, which set our record of the 29th named storm this year. That's not a threat to land, but another strong tropical wave in the Caribbean, likely to be our 30th named storm of this record-breaking season of 2020. Lindsay?
Rob Marciano in the thick of it once again. Thanks so much, Rob. When we come back, the growing concerns of the holiday travel looming this Thanksgiving will spark the biggest COVID spike yet. The legal battle over superstar Britney Spears' estate that's pitting her against her father, what a judge has now decided. But up next, we have all heard about the blockbuster potential of Pfizer's new vaccine, but now to the nitty-gritty. How will regulators handle it, and when could it actually be distributed if given the green light? It's all in this week's Vaccine Watch.
The most powerful stories of our time, anytime. Nightline.
The Americans here on the ground and the Iraqis. 18,000 tons. Patatas. Ismail? David.
Over ground zero from Hurricane Michael.
You can see just home after home.
David, nice to meet you.
This was your view.
My favorite view.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Friday night.
I'll never forget the first time that I met him. A chill raced up my spine. I just shook the hand of a killer. Susan Powell was a young, beautiful mother. She just one night vanished. Josh, did you kill your wife?
Now the stunning new 2020 event, Friday on ABC.
Now to the race for a vaccine and a closer look at Pfizer's major announcement this week that their vaccine is 90% effective in trials so far in preventing the coronavirus. It is welcome news as COVID cases surge across the country, but the coming weeks will be crucial in determining when and how the vaccine will move forward and eventually reach Americans. ABC's Bob Woodruff is tracking it all in this week's Vaccine Watch.
Monday, a bombshell announcement.
Human trials show its vaccine candidate for coronavirus is 90% effective at fighting the virus.
The efficacy of the Pfizer mRNA candidate is over 90%, which is just extraordinary and is going to have a major impact on everything that we do with regard to COVID.
But first, Pfizer needs to submit final data to the FDA, get an emergency use authorization, and actually deliver the vaccine. The company says it will continue to work closely with the government to ensure the vaccine gets to people who need it most through Operation Warp Speed.
Operation Warp Speed has also ensured that Pfizer has access to ancillary supplies that will be needed to distribute and administer the vaccine. That includes needles, syringes, alcohol swabs, diluent, and PPE needed for administration, as well as dry ice required for the vaccine's last mile distribution.
Well, it's going to be a gradual process. Vaccinations will start in December, very likely sometime a bit before the Christmas holidays.
Officials say nursing homes and frontline workers will be first to be offered Pfizer's vaccine if approved, but delivering and storing may be a major challenge.
At the current time, we ship them at dry ice temperatures.
The ultra low freezer temperatures is completely unprecedented. Nobody has any experience working with the vaccine at that temperature.
Experts say it is the coldest a vaccine has ever needed to be stored. Pfizer's vaccine could require freezers that will keep the vaccine at negative 94 degrees Fahrenheit.
Which is a unique, very different freezer. They're almost like unicorns in healthcare. They're far and hard to find.
And while big box pharmacies like Walgreens and CVS say they're ready for Pfizer's vaccine,
all of our pharmacies are equipped with refrigerators and freezers that would allow us to store, the vast majority of the vaccines right there.
Local and mid-level pharmacies, along with hospitals, may face greater challenges, especially those in rural areas.
In order to be able to vaccinate in rural areas, that's going to be a lot more difficult because now we're going to have to find a way to maintain that temperature while we're driving it out 20 or 50 miles in order to do an inoculation.
But with speedy delivery and the use of dry ice, Pfizer believes it will overcome these logistical hurdles.
They're packed around with dry ice in these very insulated containers, and they can be repacked with dry ice to keep them nice and cold.
Were you created with a GPS tracker with dry ice? Can you just tell me about that?
So we not only have the track of the location, but also we track the temperature, so that when the box is received, you can verify that it has stayed at the temperature that it should.
Current restrictions from the Department of Transportation require that dry ice cannot be transported via air or water at this time. So that creates challenges with how quickly they can move product from a Pfizer facility to the end destination. And one of the potential exceptions to this is if military transport is used. It's being considered, is our understanding.
Though much about distribution is still uncertain, Pfizer and other vaccine developers like Moderna are likely to submit data from their late-stage trials in the coming weeks. I'm Bob Woodruff, tracking the race for a vaccine.
Thanks so much, Bob. And still ahead here on Prime, the new lawsuit against one of the officers involved in the Breonna Taylor shooting that calls him, quote, a sexual predator. And we crunched the numbers. You might be surprised how the economic divide translated into votes for Biden versus Trump. And our post of the day, at just 6 years old, civil rights icon Ruby Bridges became the first black child to desegregate an all-white school. Today, she honored her mother, who stood by her side and passed away, calling her a champion for change.
We all need someone who'll pull no punches and give it to us straight. No bull, no spin. Now imagine getting your news like that. Just give it to me straight. ABC News, straightforward.
Another week in America, a country facing a new test now.
The Wuhan airport, almost no one here.
The last flight out of Rome.
This is the nursing home just outside Seattle. Dozens of people were just rushed off this cruise ship.
This is ground zero.
It is shut down. Another ambulance just pulled out.
Now they're headed to the hospital.
Time is of the essence.
You can see the ship behind me.
This is the first time tests have been done here.
Morning, afternoon, evening, late night, 24/7. ABC News, there for you.
What's the most innovative daily news podcast out there to listen to every day? Well, the Edward R. Murrow Awards say it's Start Here, the daily news podcast from ABC News. Even the New York Times calls us a top news podcast worth listening to. Start Here, free on Apple Podcasts.
Welcome back, everybody. Tonight, we take a look at the widening economic divide in America and how this division played out in the 2020 presidential election by the numbers. President-elect Joe Biden has won 16% of all U.S. counties so far, but these counties together account for 70% of America's economic output, or GDP, according to a new analysis by the Brookings Institute. In contrast, President Trump has won 84% of all U.S. counties, and those counties represent a combined 29% of the U.S. economy. Brookings found that this economic gap has widened since 2016, when the counties that Hillary Clinton won accounted for 64% of America's economic activity. And the counties that went for Trump in 2016 generated 36% of the country's GDP. Now, in this election, Biden flipped 5 of the 10 most economically significant counties that Trump won in 2016. They include the cities of Phoenix, Dallas-Fort Worth, Jacksonville, and Tampa, Florida. Still lots to get to here on Prime. A mother's fight leading to the pardon of her son after his serious car accident and imprisonment galvanized his community and several celebrities to speak up for him. The major recall involving one of the most popular security cameras on the market, and paying tribute today and every day to our heroes on this Veterans Day. But first, a look at our top trending stories on abcnews.com.
This is what being live is all about. This is ABC News Live, the 24/7 streaming news source from ABC News. Breaking news, live events, streaming nonstop. Original breakthrough storytelling from ABC News, National Geographic, ESPN, and it's all designed differently for you to stream straight to any screen whenever you want.
ABC News Live.
Streaming everywhere, right to you. ABC News Live. It's that easy to go there.
Right now, at this defining moment in America, with so much on the line,
We gon' be alright, we
From ABC News, Turning Point, the groundbreaking special Nightline series. Taking over, taking on. This moment for America. My America, your America, our America. This is Turning Point, the special Nightline series. Late night on ABC.
Hello? This is Montana Highway Patrol. You're looking for a couple of missing teenagers. That's right. Last seen in a red Focus.
The steering wheel is getting stiff.
Lock the door. We're fine.
Got ourselves a predicament.
When the night has come.
Over a week after Election Day and 5 days since Joe Biden was projected the winner, still no acceptance of that result from President Trump and many of his supporters. Mr. Trump made his first public appearance since Thursday, paying his respects on a rain-soaked Veterans Day at Arlington National Cemetery. President-elect Biden also attending a memorial for Korean War vets in Philadelphia. As the war dead were being honored, the Trump campaign still falsely claiming without evidence that the election was stolen. Today, a hand recount was authorized in the state of Georgia, where Biden's narrow lead continues to grow, now more than 14,000 votes.
With the margin being so close, it will require a full by-hand recount in each county.
Despite most Republicans in Congress standing by as the president's team refuses to accept defeat, Biden is busy pushing forward with his transition into power.
We're going to do exactly what we'd be doing if he had conceded and said we won, which we have.
A former Louisville police officer charged in the Breonna Taylor case is now accused of sexual assault in a new lawsuit. A 22-year-old woman behind the suit claims former officer Brett Hankison assaulted her while leaving a bar in 2018. Hankison was one of 3 officers who fired a weapon the night Breonna Taylor died in March. He's charged with wanton endangerment.
Thousands of Ethiopians are fleeing to neighboring Sudan, the country on the brink of a civil war. The UN's humanitarian chief in Ethiopia warns of up to 200,000 refugees. Government forces continue to clash with the northern regional government of Tigray. Hundreds already killed on both sides. UN agencies cut off from delivering supply trucks while internet has been shut down. The AP reports Ethiopia's leader Abiy Ahmed, who is a Nobel Peace Prize winner, has been accused of arresting journalists under the pretense of reporting fake news.
Britney Spears' father will remain as co-conservator of her estate, even though the singer says she is in fear of him. A judge rejected the pop star's petition to remove her father from the role he's held since 2008. He was handed the responsibility after the singer suffered a very public breakdown. The result is Britney Spears is not in control of her own personal or financial affairs.
Britney's choice of wealth manager, Bessemer Trust, was named as the co-conservator of her $60 million estate. Jamie Spears' team countering, saying Mr. Spears' sole motivation has been his unconditional love for his daughter and a fierce desire to protect her.
An attorney for the singer told the court Spears will not perform again if her father is in charge of her career.
Following the court proceedings, Spears staying positive, posting online, "Keep jumping towards your dreams."
Some of those popular Amazon Ring video doorbells are now the focus of a recall.
350,000 of the Ring doorbell devices are being pulled from store shelves because they can overheat and possibly ignite. Manufacturer Amazon says the problem is with the second-generation Ring video models when incorrect screws are used for installation. The devices were sold online and in stores from June to October this year and have a blue ring on the front in either black and silver or black and bronze in color. At least 23 incidents have been reported so far, causing just minor property damage and minor burns.
Welcome back. It is understandable. This is the time of the year that we're supposed to be reconnecting with family and friends, and many of us want to do so and are making plans to do so. But public health officials have been warning us that this could lead to the most dangerous COVID spike yet. One of their biggest concerns, college students returning home. Stephanie Ramos has more.
Tonight, with Thanksgiving just 2 weeks away and the pandemic exploding, health officials warning close family gatherings could accelerate the surge.
Given how bad things are with the pandemic and how widespread the virus is, it's really difficult to have kind of a normal Thanksgiving, large family gatherings.
Experts say half of all Americans plan to travel for the holiday, going against those new CDC guidelines, which recommend celebrating Thanksgiving virtually or only with people in your own household and preferably outside. For indoor dinners, the CDC says keep the windows open, spread out as much as possible, and wear masks. The other major concern, college students bringing the virus home for the holiday. More than 540 University of Connecticut students now in quarantine after 24 people tested positive. At Notre Dame, where thousands of students stormed the field after a win on Saturday, students must test negative before they leave campus. Yale University freshmen won't be allowed back on campus after the holiday. Weston Karakash is heading back to Santa Monica, but even though he'll be home in time for the holiday, he's not taking any chances.
On Thanksgiving, I'll still be in my room, and we will eat together as a family on Zoom.
Lindsay, health officials caution about relying too heavily on testing. The incubation period for COVID is up to 14 days, so it is possible to test negative one day and become sick the next. Here at Rutgers University, students living here on campus are tested weekly, and if they do test positive, they're isolated on campus until they recover. Lindsay.
Stephanie, thanks so much. Now, one family that is hoping to have a happy holiday season together is the Russian family. Matthew Russian has been granted a pardon by Virginia's governor after his involvement in a car accident last year. His case made headlines after he was given a 10-year prison sentence. His family argues that his autism played a role in all this. Here's more on the case of Matthew Russian. Matthew Russian will soon be a free man, thanks to a conditional pardon granted by Virginia Governor Ralph Northam last week. The 22-year-old from Virginia Beach was sentenced to 10 years in prison last August after pleading guilty to 2 counts of malicious wounding and 1 count of hit and run for his involvement in 2 car crashes in one night in January of 2019. The second crash so severe it left 77-year-old George Kuzik badly disabled with lasting brain damage. Prosecutors in the case argued that Matthew was attempting suicide by driving into oncoming traffic. But Russian's family attorney told ABC News that the incident was an accident and that Matthew, who was autistic, was having an emotional episode caused by his autism during the time of the incident. He never intended to hurt anyone. The lawyer also says that Matthew was never evaluated for his mental state before his arrest or interrogation by police. Through it all, his mother, Laverne, fought for his innocence and his freedom, taking her battle to social media in a campaign to bring him home.
We've got to bring him home. There has to be a way.
Celebrities like Jamie Lee Curtis, NBA star Dominique Wilkins, and Beyoncé's mother, Tina Lawson, standing behind Matthew on social media. The GoFundMe page Laverne launched has raised more than $114,000 to help with legal fees in his defense, and nearly 250,000 people signed an online petition calling on Governor Northam to free Matthew. The family petitioned for a pardon from the governor this past June. A conditional pardon was granted after a thorough review of the case. The partial pardon does not erase Matthew's conviction and requires Matthew to have a parole officer assigned to him for 5 years. He'll have to participate in supervised mental health treatment, counseling, and a substance abuse evaluation. Matthew also cannot drive for the rest of his life, though he is allowed to petition to have that changed after 10 years. He's also not permitted to own a firearm or ever have contact with the victims. If Matthew violates any of these conditions, he'll end up back in prison to complete the rest of his sentence. Virginia Beach Police and the Commonwealth's attorney stand by their handling of the investigation. Dana Kuzik, who was injured alongside her husband George, issued a statement to ABC News about the governor's decision that reads in part, "He should never drive again. I wish him well and hope that he stays safe. However, the public needs to be kept safe also. Now George is a shell. He can breathe on his own and move his arms slightly, but that is it. We don't know if he knows us. He doesn't respond to us. His smile is gone. George is gone, and we miss him." Though the Russian family is overjoyed, there's still a long road ahead for Matthew to settle back into regular life. He's been dealing with medical issues impacting his vision and will require additional health care once released. But for now, his mom is happy that she'll finally be reunited with her son. And joining us now is Matthew Russian's mother, Laverne, who, as you just learned, has been fighting tirelessly for the release of her son, along with NBA icon and Hall of Famer Dominique Wilkins, who has been working with the Russian family and is a disability rights advocate. Thank you both for being here. We appreciate it. Laverne, I'd like to start with you. As a mother, what have the last nearly 2 years been like for you, and how did you feel when you learned of Matthew's partial pardon?
Been devastating to us. Each day he's been behind bars. We live behind bars. The news came and we were just so elated and so overwhelmed with emotions. Even up to now, I'm kind of numb in a way, but it's good news.
And Dominique, over the summer, you held a Dunk and Donate challenge to help raise funds for legal funds for people with disabilities. How did you hear about Matthew's case, and what made you get involved?
Well, we wanted to do something when we heard about Matthew's story, which was, it's incredible that this kid had do any time because of what happened. But, our whole focus was to try to get behind, raise as much money as we could. So I got together with Kelly O'Corn from the show Billions, and we got together and said, man, look, we got to do something. We got to get this kid out. And all these people who are dealing with these injustices, we have to be the one to stand on the wall for people who are dealing with sensory needs and special needs. So that's how we got started.
And Laverne, right now, Matthew's release date is set for next spring. What's the likelihood of that being moved up?
So we want to start a campaign, Home for the Holidays, and hopefully the governor will have a little bit more compassion in releasing Matthew earlier and sending him home for the holidays.
We see you have Christmas all ready for him to potentially be home and see that Christmas tree there. Dominique, you're the board chairman for Culture City, which touts itself as the nation's leading nonprofit on sensory accessibility and acceptance for those with invisible disabilities. What can organizations like this one do to work more closely with law enforcement to build a better understanding of people with invisible disabilities?
Well, we're currently dealing with law enforcement on several different issues, especially when it's talk about inclusion. You talk about people with sensory needs, special needs, and because, there's a lot of people out here who deal with autism that doesn't get a fair shake. So we work with local organizations to make sure that these individuals get a fair shake and get what they rightly deserve, the same rights that everybody else has. So, we are working with local law enforcement in different cities to help them kind of educate them on what this is all about, because this is a serious problem.
And lastly, Laverne, curious just to get your thoughts on mental health and policing. It's come up in several cases in recent months where there's some concern from family members that police are ill-equipped to handle mental illness and that prison is not the appropriate response. What's your take on that?
Exactly so. Prison is not the cure for autism, and anyone having a mental health crisis, there needs to be more reform and more training for those officers to handle crises like that, and even a separate entity involving coming in and assisting those officers. I think that would be the best route to go.
Okay, Laverne and Dominique, we thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you coming on the show.
Thank you so much.
And when we come back, a veteran who is also a trailblazer.
Friday night. I'll never forget the first time that I met him. A chill raced up my spine. I just shook the hand of a killer. Susan Powell was a young, beautiful mother. She just one night vanished. Josh, did you kill your wife?
Now the stunning new 2020 event, Friday on ABC. The coronavirus. Everyone has concerns. And tomorrow, Dr. Jennifer Ashton is here, helping you better understand it all, helping you protect yourself and your family. Your questions answered tomorrow
on Good Morning America.
The world may feel out of your control, but your happiness doesn't have to be. Learn the secrets to happiness. Listen to the 10% Happier podcast, free on Apple Podcasts.
ABC News honored winner of 4 Edward R. Murrow Awards, including the most prestigious honor, Overall Excellence in Television. ABC News, America's #1 news choice.
This is what being live is all about. This is ABC News Live, the 24/7 streaming news source from ABC News. Breaking news, live live events, streaming nonstop. Original breakthrough storytelling from ABC News, National Geographic, ESPN, and it's all designed differently for you to stream straight to any screen whenever you want.
ABC News Live.
Streaming everywhere, right to you.
ABC News Live. It's that easy to go there.
The reality is our country can collapse from within.
You see the white power movement on the march. Klansmen and neo-Nazis, skinheads, it's meant to incite war.
From the KKK to Oklahoma City to Charlottesville, the new documentary event special.
We just need to start talking about race.
Homegrown hate, the war among us.
This is a real wake-up call.
Streaming now on ABC News Live.
ABC News, America's #1 news source. Straightforward news, straight to the heart of the story. ABC News, straightforward.
Starting today, veterans and Gold Star families now get free admission to our national parks. Veterans with proper ID and Gold Star families with a voucher will have entrance fees waived for all national parks, wildlife refuges, and other sites managed by the Department of the Interior. The free admission also covers traveling companions of the holder of the voucher or ID card. Right now, there are an estimated 15,000 plus transgender people serving in the military. It's believed that there are tens of thousands of veterans. One of them, a veteran of World War II, has been a pioneer in the LGBTQ plus community for more than 40 years and is showing no signs of slowing down. Kana Whitworth has more.
The feel of an airplane, the feel of the wheels leaving the ground, the feel of the wheels kissing the ground again. Those are things that are in my dreams all the time.
99-year-old Robina Asti is the oldest living active pilot and flight instructor in the United States. She's also one of the 134 transgender veterans living in America.
Look at that airplane.
You notice it right away?
I know the engine.
You do?
Yeah.
During World War II, as a naval officer, Robina was instrumental in getting radios into airplanes, making in-air communication possible.
I was adamant that we have in all aircraft good communications with the pilot.
Born Robert, she was a husband and a parent to 3 children. And at age 50, she transitioned.
I realized that there were going to be people never recognized. And that's when I began to look at my life must be to make invisible people visible.
Always a fighter, she turned her efforts toward equal rights, leading the charge against the Social Security Administration's denial of survivor benefits for trans spouses, paving the way for gender identity and marriage benefits. It was something she had experienced firsthand when she remarried in 2004 and as a woman was denied her benefits because the state of New York said her marriage wasn't legal.
You have fought for our country. You have fought for equal rights. Why?
Because I'm a human being. All I know is I got a bunch of human beings that don't really appreciate themselves as human beings. And I want to make sure that I go out of this world helping human beings.
Yeah.
And the rest of my life is going to be doing that.
In the last year, she founded Cloud Dancers, an organization that grants meaningful wishes to senior citizens in the LGBTQ community.
We're not invisible. We're all visible. And we all got something passionate to say.
Cloud Dancers' outreach efforts address the civil rights of the LGBTQ community and, in particular, senior citizens who face issues relating to perceptions, aging, and social neglect. Her foundation is a true reflection of the passionate way she lives her life.
Enjoy your life. Don't let the negatives get a hold of you. I love living, and I can't urge you more, no matter what happens to you, to live it.
And Lindsay, after the interview, Robina sharing some wisdom with me. She actually opened up my jacket pocket and she said that I should live like that so that I can let new things into my life and let go of others. And I told her I'd never close it again. Lindsay?
Certainly an inspiration to so many. Kayna, thank you. And before we go tonight, our image of the day. Etta Sowers from North Huntington, Pennsylvania, honoring her Navy veteran husband, Roy Sowers. We are forever grateful to each and every veteran who has sacrificed so much for our country. Thank you. And that is our show for this hour. Be sure to stay tuned to ABC News Live for more context and analysis of the day's top stories. I'm Lindsay Davis. Thanks so much for streaming with us, and good night.
ABC News honored